Hi guys, I shouldn't give advice to the Tories. You know the old saying, never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. However, it's highly unlikely that David Davis has ever heard of me, and less likely that he listens to the stuff that I put out on this channel. So I think it's safe to say we can critique the advice he's giving to the Tory party at the moment. David appeared on Times Radio where he said that his party needs to get to grip with the immigration crisis, or it will face annihilation. Have a listen.
Two quick ones before we let you go. This issue is tearing your party apart. Lee Anderson is one of the latest MPs to warn that he would, well, it sounds to me like he's saying he would find it very difficult to stand as a Tory MP at the next election unless this problem is sorted. Are you worried about that?
Well, I wrote to the Prime Minister 2 weeks ago now. I had 50 colleagues sign my letter. Now it's over 100. I mean, they keep signing it even though it's already gone. Basically, it was partly designed, mostly it was designed to do the job, but the recommendations I've been talking to you about basically unify my entire party, you know, from left to right, from north to south. And if the government does that, and I think it will, what I suspect will happen is around about Christmas Day, we've got this great idea, happens to be declaring Albania a safe country. And I think if they do that, it won't solve the whole problem, but it'll take 1/3 of it out, and it means the rest becomes manageable.
And if they don't do that?
If they don't do that, it'll fail. I mean, bluntly, we'll get punished at the polls. I mean, it won't matter whether Lee stands as a Tory or anything else. He won't get elected. None of us will. I mean, it's I'm afraid it's really, really. I mean, for a very long time, you've had a sort of paradox in Britain, and the paradox is this: Britain is an incredibly generous country. You saw that with the Ukrainians. Right, people would open their arms to them. You see it with Afghans who've been working. You see all, but at the same time they don't like being taken for a ride. And they feel with this new trade in people, they've been taken for a ride. And if the government doesn't fix it, the government won't last.
David, I have some advice for you. Read the frigging room. Read the room, David. People don't care about this. Now, there are some people, the racists and bigots that the Tories are concerned with, are going to shift to UKIP or Reform or whatever Nigel Farage pulls out of his behind next. But the vast majority of people are not concerned about dinghies or not concerned about Albanians. They're concerned about, let me see, what is it? Surviving the winter. That's what they're concerned about. They're worried about whether they can pay their bills, whether they can feed their families, whether they'll have to go to a food bank, whether they'll go to the food bank and there will actually be food in the food bank, whether they have to go to a warm bank, whether they can pay their mortgage, or if they don't have a mortgage, whether they'll be kicked out onto the street because they can't afford the higher rents, or that they haven't been able to cut back enough to pay the rent. These are the concerns people have. And if the Tories get a bloody nose at the next election, it's because of this, not because of dinghies or because of whether Albania is considered a safe country or not. Absolutely ridiculous. Yes, there is a concern within the Conservative Party that they're going to lose the racists and bigots. And, you know, if you can find a more racist and bigoted party, then of course the racists and bigots will go to that instead. Boris Johnson was able to win them over with getting Brexit done. There was nothing really else for them to go to. Yes, some of them went to the Brexit party, but you know the agreement that Farage and Johnson had allowed the Tories to get off the hook there somewhat. But the vast majority of people are more concerned about their own lives at the moment than dinghies. And yes, it may be uniting the Conservatives, this issue, but they're going to get trashed at the polls if they just focus on immigration. And of course, David Davis will come back, you know, after the election when the Tories have lost so many seats and blame it all on, well, I was the canary in the coal mine. I was the one who was saying, look, this is what we should have been focusing on, when in reality it'll be cost of living. The cost of living is not going to improve in the next 2 years. So when the election, if it's not held anytime sooner, it's likely to be in the middle of a cost of living crisis. And people, the vast majority of people will not be talking about immigration. They'll be talking about survival. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.